The room bends inward, warped by breathless silence, and the walls lean close like they want to confess. You were never meant to be here, not at this hour, not with that letter in your hand and the hallway light behind you flickering like something alive. You stare at the photo frame on the dresser, her smile fossilized, perfect, but the eyes, those eyes, they hold something locked, and now the key is pulsing in your palm. It was buried in the garden behind your grandmother's house, wrapped in oilskin and twine, hidden beneath the dead lavender bush where nothing ever grew. You thought it was a game, a prank from another cousin maybe, but the metal felt warm and the paper inside trembled when you touched it, whispering your name like it had waited a long, long time. You broke the wax seal without thinking, and now every shadow in the room has teeth. You remember her voice at family gatherings, the way it softened when adults were near, then sharpened like broken glass when no one was watching. She always stood just a little too still, her head tilted like she could hear things the rest of you couldn't. There were rumors, of course, things no one wanted to say out loud, but you remember how your mother's hand tensed when your sister entered the room, how your father watched her like something dangerous. The key in your pocket won't stop humming, like it's remembering something. You walk down the hall toward the locked attic door, the one she always said was off limits, the one no one could find a key for. The door greets you like it knew you were coming, its brass handle cold, trembling under your grip as if the wood itself feared what lay beyond. Inside, the air is syrupy and old, thick with forgotten incense and moth-wing memories. Shapes loom under white sheets, child-sized mannequins, bird cages, mirrors covered in black veils. You're not alone. Something moves behind the largest drape, but you don't lift it. Not yet. Instead, your eyes are pulled to the box in the center of the floor, velvet-lined, locked tight. And your key fits. The moment the latch clicks, the room shudders. A pressure fills your ears, not quite a scream, not quite silence, just the sound of something sacred breaking open. You see papers, her handwriting, unmistakable, and photographs with the faces scratched out, all but yours. Your face is untouched. But someone else's name is written underneath. Archangel Michael says, she has rewritten your life in her ink, page by page, replacing your reflection with her own. And you believed her. The pages curl at the edges, burned in places by something like acid or rage. You find a map with red X's that mark places you've never been but remember anyway. Your memories ache. That camping trip she planned. The basement of the church you weren't supposed to enter. The dream you had every night for a year, where she was holding your hand and walking you straight into fire. God says, nothing she touched stayed clean. Not the water, not the mirrors, not the prayers. The veil behind you rustles. You turn. The mannequin is not a mannequin. It's you, or almost. Eyes sewn shut. Lips charred. Dressed in your clothes from a decade ago. In its hand, a locket. Her face inside. And etched beneath it, I was supposed to be the only one. The walls buckle. You fall to your knees as the lights shatter, and the attic breathes, a deep, groaning exhale. You hear her voice, not from a body, but from the corners of the room, wet and crawling. You weren't supposed to find this. You weren't supposed to wake up. Your hand finds the locket. cold metal. A click. Inside, your name, but scratched out, overwritten with hers. You scream. And something beneath the floor begins to knock. The knocking doesn't stop. It has rhythm now, like something beneath the floor remembers how your heart beats and is echoing it in mockery. The attic shakes, not like a building touched by wind, but like something exhaling from below, something that's waited far too long for you to return. You stumble back, locket clutched in your fist, its sharp edges digging into your skin until blood beads, then drips to the floor. It doesn't vanish. It seeps into the cracks, pulled by unseen veins that awaken like nerves under skin. The house responds with a sound like laughing wood and morning bells, and behind the walls, something else shifts. You turn toward the far corner of the attic. A draft cuts through the stale air, cold and unnatural, like it came from somewhere not meant to touch this world. The wall ripples, subtly at first, then a crack appears, jagged and weeping dust. You press your hand against it. It doesn't feel like plaster. It feels like skin stretched thin. You push. The wall splits, not open like a door, but like a wound, and inside is a mirror, shrouded in black silk and bound with red twine. Not rope. Twine soaked in something sticky, something that smells like rust and lilac. You recognize it as hers, her scent, her thread, her handiwork. Your fingers tremble. But the mirror wants to be seen. And you're already too deep to pretend blindness. Archangel Michael says, she fed it pieces of you. One memory at a time, she traded them to this thing, and now it holds everything you forgot to protect. You tear the silk away. The mirror reflects, but not the room. Not your body. Only her. Your sister, standing in the middle of an orchard at midnight, her eyes rolled back white, her mouth open in a wordless scream. Around her, 13 shadows kneel. Their faces are your friends. Your cousins. Your younger self. In the mirror, she lifts a bowl carved from bone and drinks. Her mouth splits wider than human. Her eyes darken to void. When she smiles, your stomach knots in recognition. It's the smile she used on birthdays, at weddings, when she hugged you too long. The orchard behind her burns. The shadows scream. Her face flickers, and suddenly she's looking out of the mirror, straight at you. Her voice is a hiss beneath glass, I took what you didn't deserve. And it tasted like heaven. You back away, but your feet won't move. Something in the mirror has wrapped around your ankles, chains made of silver hair and wasp wings, tightening with every breath. The house groans louder now, like it's preparing to birth something foul and final. God says, she made a mirror that only shows hunger. And now it has a taste for you. Your mouth goes dry. You try to speak, to command, but no sound comes. Instead, you remember, a memory not your own, but buried in the walls. A child's voice whispering in the night, if I take her name, I get her light. If I eat her face, I get her life. The mirror shatters, but not into pieces. It melts, running down the wall in sheets of mercury, forming images on the floor. You see your childhood, but not as it was. Her shadow
behind
is
the
always
tree,
there. At the edge of the pool. On your bed, watching you sleep. You begin to understand. She was never following you. She was steering you. Your choices were whispers she placed in your ears while you dreamed. Your doubts were seeds she planted in your throat with lullabies and poison promises. The mirror showed you this, not to haunt, but to remind. She has always been in control. Until now. From the melted silver, a hand rises, delicate, clawed, and trembling with rage. It reaches for your throat, but stops an inch away. It cannot touch you, not completely, not yet. But it wants to. The hand points to the broken locket in your palm. Inside it, beneath the scratched names, a new engraving etches itself into the metal as you watch. The debt is due. The floor cracks beneath you. From it, an eye opens. Not hers. Not yours. Something older. Watching. Waiting. Archangel Michael says, she sold your story to things that eat light. They wear her name now, but they remember yours. The attic collapses inward. You fall, but not through wood. Through time. Through memory. Through every door she slammed shut behind you. You land in a room that doesn't exist, a church with no pews, only mirrors. Every reflection is her, but none of them match. One weeps. One laughs. One bleeds from the mouth. One whispers prayers in a language you forgot at birth. In the center of the room, her diary. Bound in your skin. The pages turn by themselves, revealing your dreams, your sins, your moments of hesitation. She has catalogued everything. Labeled it. Judged it. You scream, and the diary catches fire. And that's when she enters. But not as herself. As you. And behind her, dragging her shadow on a chain, is the real her. Bound. Gagged. Eyes pleading. You don't know which one to fear. She steps forward in your body, barefoot and smiling, as if nothing has gone wrong and none of this is her fault. Her eyes shimmer with your memories. Your voice curls in her throat like a blade she's learned to wield with perfect grace. She walks like you, tilts her head like you, but every movement drips with something you never had, power stolen, rehearsed, and sealed with betrayal. The bound version of her, dragged in silence behind, sinks to her knees. Her face is yours, too, but broken, raw with truth. Her eyes are full of prayers that died too long ago to save her. You feel both of them watching you. One with hunger. One with shame. And something inside your ribs begins to twist, as if your spirit is being asked to choose which twin to kill. The one wearing your skin circles you, fingers brushing across the altar behind you. She leaves a smear of ash wherever she touches. And when she speaks, it's your voice again, but the words are not yours. You never knew how easy it was to become you. No one questioned it. Not even God. The mirrors around the room ripple, each of them showing a moment you thought was private, you crying in your closet, your hand reaching out for comfort in a dream, your first failure, your last secret. And in all of them, she's there, just out of frame, whispering to the dark, twisting your pain like string. God says, she took your name the night you trusted her most. And heaven recorded the theft. The flames around the diary flicker blue now, devouring your sins and hers alike, but some words remain untouched by fire. Dates. Coordinates. And your name, written backwards, then crossed out, then rewritten in red. The bound version begins to weep. Her tears hit the ground and smoke. Each drop writes a word in salt: return. 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 You turn back to the false you, and her smile splits open. Inside her mouth, there are too many teeth. And behind her eyes, you see them, the spirits that made the trade. 13 watchers. No eyes. No mouths. Just hands. Reaching. She made the offering in the orchard you never visited. At midnight, she cut her palm and wrote your name in the soil, and when the spirits asked her, "What do you give for her fate?" she said, "Everything she was born for." The air turns metallic. You taste iron and endings. Your knees buckle under the weight of truth. All the blessings that never reached you, all the doors that never opened, all the joy that seemed stolen at the last second, it was her. She took it, wrapped it in her voice and claimed it as her birthright. Archangel Michael says, she bartered you piece by piece. You were the sacrifice she disguised as a sibling. The bound girl screams, but no sound comes. Only light. Blinding, violent, and full of grief. It pours from her mouth in ribbons, wrapping the room, cracking the mirrors. You watch them shatter, each reflection of her unraveling, revealing glimpses of what she could have been before envy ruined her bones. You remember now. The night she climbed into your bed, whispered a lullaby in a language you didn't understand. How your dreams twisted after that. How you woke up crying without knowing why. That was the night. She fed them your innocence. And they drank it. The diary erupts in flame once more, and this time, the altar behind you burns too. The false you shrieks, her voice bending unnaturally, and she begins to peel away, skin first, then memory, then voice, until only her shadow remains, a smoke-made echo crawling across the floor like spilled ink. You chase her. Not with your hands, but with your name, spoken the way it was meant to be said. The sound of it cracks the walls. The spirits recoil. Her shadow screams. God says, the name she buried is your weapon now. Say it, and the debt collapses. You scream it. Once. Twice. The third time is not a sound, it's a rupture. Light explodes from your chest, and the chained version of her gasps as the bonds fall away. Her body trembles, lifting from the floor, eyes cleared, face softened. And then she speaks, she never let me speak. I'm what she tore away. I'm what she buried to wear your life. The mirrors explode. And now, there is only you, and the two of them, shadow and soul, thief and twin, betrayal and brokenness, standing on either side of a burning altar. The spirits watch, motionless, waiting for judgment. Archangel Michael says, choose. One must burn. The other will fade. But only you can decide which was truly her. Your hands are covered in ash. Your eyes sting with revelation. You look at them both. One reaches out with a smile. One stays silent, but bows her head. Your voice trembles. Your next word will shape the rest of your days. The altar collapses behind you as soon as the name leaves your lips, crumbling like dried bone under holy fire. The spirits vanish without sound, their debt marked fulfilled, or perhaps postponed, but the air is not lighter. It is thick with the memory of judgment. You did not choose lightly. But choice itself is a blade, and now it drips red with consequence. The one you spared does not speak. She only steps back into shadow, folding into the smoke like the memory of someone you once believed was on your side. She leaves behind a single object on the scorched floor, a small key, pulsing faintly with warmth, the metal stained dark, like it remembers the taste of blood. You pick it up. It cuts you. And you feel the cut not in your skin, but in your soul, as if something inside you was sealed too tightly for too long and just split open. You wake suddenly, not in the church of mirrors, but in your old childhood bedroom. The walls are the same soft blue. The ceiling fan spins slowly, casting long, flickering shadows. And the house is quiet. Unnaturally so. The kind of silence that suggests something is listening. You look around and realize, this isn't memory. This is her sanctuary. The bed across the room is perfectly made. Her bed. It looks just like it did when you were young, but everything is too clean, too untouched. Like it was preserved, not lived in. You step closer, and the floorboards groan in warning. But you're holding the key now. And it's guiding you. You kneel beside the bed. The underside is covered in carvings. Thousands of tiny words scratched into the wood, spiraling outward like a curse trying to remember itself. You see dates. Symbols. Names. Yours repeated endlessly, spelled backward and forward, twisted into equations and prayers. At the center, a lock, so small it could only be opened by something made for it. You press the blood key in. It clicks. And the floor moans. A drawer slides open beneath the bed, one that shouldn't exist. Inside, a book wrapped in red velvet. You unwrap it slowly, your hands shaking with something deeper than fear. Reverence, maybe. Dread dressed in holy robes. The cover is stitched skin. The spine is stitched hair. Inside, no ink, only blood, soaked into the pages in perfect, deliberate strokes. God says, this is where she kept the real records. The ones she never meant anyone to find. Not even them. Each page contains a ritual. Not written instructions, memories, preserved in blood. You don't read them. You feel them. Her kneeling in a circle of candles, chanting with your face held in her hands. Her whispering into jars filled with your breath. Her laughing as she cut her own name from the book of life and sewed yours in its place. You close the book, shaking. And then you hear it. Footsteps overhead. Slow. Careful. Watching. You remember this room. The way she always insisted the closet stay shut. The way she screamed when you tried to open it once. You turn to it now. The doorknob is wrapped in rosary beads, each one melted and blackened. You unwrap them carefully, praying without sound. The door swings open on its own. Inside, a staircase that descends into impossible dark. You should not go. But the key is still warm. The blood still fresh. And something below is calling your name, not with voice, but with memory. You descend. The stairs take you to a chamber far beneath the house, where the walls are flesh and the ceiling drips with wax. Candles line the floor in a spiral, and in the center lies a crib. Covered in lace. Rocking gently. Archangel Michael says, this is the first lie she told. And the most dangerous one. You step forward, heart pounding, breath caught in your throat. The air smells like milk and sulfur. You reach out, hand trembling, and lift the veil from the crib. Inside, there is no child. There is a doll. Sewn to resemble you. Its eyes are open. Its mouth is stitched shut with red thread. And its chest is filled with ash. You recoil, but not before you see what's pinned to its chest, a photograph. Torn at the edges. Faded. It's you, on your 5th birthday, standing next to her. But in this version, her arm is not around your shoulder, it's wrapped around your throat. Smiling. And on the back of the photo, she was never meant to be real. The candles sputter. The shadows twitch. The walls begin to pulse like a heartbeat. You scream and throw the doll into the flames. The crib collapses into smoke. And the voice that rises from the floor is not hers. It is your own. Begging. Trapped. Faint. We are not the same, you realize with horror that she didn't just steal your name. She made another version of you. One she could control. One she could sacrifice in place of herself. One she buried beneath the floorboards while everyone clapped at her light. God says, the false self she forged was always meant to die. So she could live through you, unburned. You fall to your knees. The chamber closes in. And the book begins to hum in your hands. There is one ritual left. And it has your name written in blood across the